We're just days away now from the beginning of June, which is Pride Month. This morning, Pride Toronto is saying it might have to scale back its festivities this year because of major cost increases for policing and insurance. The group says there's been an increase of anti-LGBTQ hate, and that means they need extra security, which comes with a steep cost. Let's go right into the heart of Toronto's gay community. Megan Fitzpatrick is reporting on the story for us and live there. Tell us more about the costs, Megan, but also what has given rise to this concern, the challenges Pride Toronto is facing.
Yeah, well, it does feel like everything's more expensive these days, Heather, and so is the Pride Festival set for Toronto, according to organizers who say two of those key expenses, insurance and security, have ballooned this year compared to last year. So the estimates that they've gotten now for their insurance to host this event the insurance cost is jumping up to $278,000. Last year, it was just $60,000, according to organizers. And similarly, the cost of hiring Toronto police officers has shot up as well. They're estimating this year it could cost about $186,000 for 90 officers. Last year, they were budgeting just about $62,000. And so the organizers are saying that these costs are, quote, ridiculous, and that in part they've been told the added costs are because of the increased risks of associating festivals like this. Now, Toronto Police is saying their higher estimate for their officers is in part due to a higher hourly rate for these officers compared to last year, as well as the size of Toronto's Pride Festival this year, which is going to be a longer parade route on the day of the parade, as well as longer festival hours, and they're adding a 1,000-person beer garden as well. So Toronto Police is saying they need more officers. And important to note, the festival organizers say they have to have Toronto Police officers on site in order to get a permit from the city to host the event. Now, the organizers are saying they didn't budget for these increased costs, and they're going to need some help in order to put on the festival the way they intended to. And if they don't get that help from levels of government, they're going to have to make some tough decisions and scale back on their plans. Take a listen to the executive director.
It's very unfortunate that, this is the person that are bearing that burden, the organization that is bearing the burden are the Prides. And as a result, there are going to be cuts. Are we going to have to now reduce the amount of artists that we're able to hire? Are we going to be able to reduce some of the community programs that we normally put on?
So they don't want to have to make those tough choices or go back to the drawing board, as he said. He also did talk about how the increase in what he says are hate-motivated attacks and violence against the 2S LGBTQ community. And he also said that Toronto's Pride Festival is not the only one in Canada that's facing these kinds of financial pressures and challenges with these increased costs, in part due to security concerns. And so he is calling on all levels of government to step up and help out. He says they have a responsibility to do so.
Is there any indication, Megan, there will be additional government funding?
Well, all three levels of government say they're already contributing basically to Toronto's Pride Festival. The City of Toronto, for example, has said it has provided funding and there's no further funding available, but that they want to work with festival organizers to help them find, quote, efficiencies and help them identify perhaps areas where the festival could be scaled back. The provincial government here in Ontario says that they've contributed over $500,000 already to the festival, and that again they want to continue to work with partners in Toronto and across the province to ensure all Pride festivals are carried out safely and inclusively. And similarly, the federal government says they're aware of the challenges facing Toronto's Pride Festival, and that the government's been engaged not just with Toronto's Pride Festival but all festivals across the country, and they'll continue to work closely with partners to ensure that these festivals can be carried out as well. But it doesn't sound, Heather, like they're stepping up with any more money at this point, but the festival organizers are hopeful, with just days away, that they'll get some extra funding.
Exactly, days away. Largest in the country and one of the largest Pride festivals in the world. We'll certainly be following that, Megan. Thank you very much. Megan Fitzpatrick in Toronto.